My grandfather was a fighter pilot. He flew one of the greatest fighters of all time, the F4U Corsair, throughout the Pacific in World War II. He was at Guam, Midway, and Okinawa, earning countless medals, including 3 Distinguished Flying Crosses and 11 Air Medals. As a kid, I thought he must have won the war all by himself. My parents named me John after him, and he was my hero. When I grew up, I wanted to be a fighter pilot, just like Grandpa. Iron 1, cleared for takeoff. Unrestricted climb to flight level 250, then is filed. See you guys in a couple. Iron 1, Miami Center, contact Station Center 238.5 out. Iron 1, heads up, traffic 350, 6 miles, 22,000. Miami Center, Iron 1, 20 level 250. Miami Center, we're contact. Maintain flight level 250. As a young guy at flight school, flying the most powerful fighter ever built, it's hard not to think you're pretty cool. And I did. When my squadron went to Nellis for my first red flag, I was excited for sure, but also a bit nervous about what lay ahead. Iron 1, cleared to land, runway 21. Right, number 1 with the gear. Welcome to Vegas, boys. Base gear, 2 stop right. Welcome to Nellis. Here at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, 128 aircraft from 6 countries have assembled for the world's largest air combat exercises. Over the next 14 days, these aircraft and crews will wage a simulated air war. For many, it's the final tune-up before actual combat. They call it red flag. Take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to our American pilots and crews, and a special welcome to our allied partners. I'd like to be the first to welcome you to Red Flag. Nations from around the world are gathered here today, including Germany with their Tornadoes, Italy with their F-16s. I was surrounded by the best fighter pilots in the world, and all of us younger pilots felt we had something to prove, that we deserved to be here. I was no different. In fact, together, you currently represent the second largest combat air force anywhere on the planet. On Red Flag's first morning, the Nellis flight line readies to launch an enormous international armada of aircraft, all in roughly 20 minutes. There are 22 F-15 Eagles from 4 American squadrons, widely considered among the finest fighter aircraft ever built. The Germans have brought 8 Tornadoes. The Canadians are here with their multi-role CF-18 Hornets, arriving from Alberta and Quebec. The British Royal Navy has flown in their famous Harrier jump jets. Represented here are not only top pilots and aircraft, but some of the world's best ground crews. How do you hear me? For most personnel, this is their first chance to compare themselves with other squadrons nationwide and worldwide. Iron 1 confirmed. Wheel 1, contact ground at 100.1. Iron 1-1, rocket tonight, step 1 cleared for takeoff. Let's make it happen, boys. Nellis Tower, you're cleared for takeoff. Summer E1 flight holding short. Cross 21 right. Iron 2-1. Nellis Tower, unrestricted climb. Check departure 558. It's long been known that if fighter pilots survive their first 10 combat missions, their survival odds throughout a career increase dramatically. Red Flag was created to provide those first 10 missions, and they make it as real as possible. What's about to happen is considered more demanding than actual war, pilots say. A ghostly B-2 heavy bomber drifts toward the battle area, tasked with destroying ground-based missile launchers before the enemy knows the fight has begun. A pair of stealth F-1U-17s follows. B-1s have arrived from a distant, undisclosed base, ready to offer bomber support. A U-2 begins its slow climb to the edge of space, relaying intelligence to the AWACS surveillance aircraft. On board AWACS is Air Boss Major Rob Lavatney, who monitors the looming air war. AWACS crews rely on space systems and radar for the battle picture. Each aircraft sends real-time telemetry, shown as a 3D display aboard AWACS. In this war, most aircraft are friendly, known as Blue Force. The bad guys, the Red Force, or aggressors, fly 12 highly maneuverable F-16s, flown by some of the finest pilots in the U.S. Air Force. 911 is ready. Tractor is the Red Force's mission commander. For many pilots, Red Flag is their first taste of large-scale air warfare. There's no other way to prepare them for the real thing, in all its precision, complexity, and finally, chaos. Check in, Vipers. Checked in as well, correct? Yeah, talk to me about the threat activity. Sure, got the Viper flight established in the north, Regal flight established in the south. Green guys are Canadians, orange guys are British. 5 miles out. Both sides begin firing heat-seeking missiles. Flares are launched to confuse incoming warheads. Once planes are hit and declared killed, they turn white on the next-gen screen, forcing the pilots to depart and return to base, while aggressors regenerate and resume the fight. The air boss and his team strive to keep 128 aircraft from 6 nations from colliding mid-air. Senior Viper flight northbound 6000. Need to get on the phone. 2 miles merging. Using simulated machine guns, a classic dogfight erupts. Sniper flight, point tactical formation. Let's give them all they can handle. Flares out. Missiles inbound. Bandits flaring. Sniper 1, they're targeting me. I'm moving in for guns. Guns! 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 Showtime copies kill. Choco 2-1, Showtime, you're dead. Red flag isn't about winners or losers. It's about saving lives in real combat. I was shot down on my first mission, and I was furious. I had a lonely flight back to base, but the commanders have a tough job. They must minimize battle casualties in real war, forcing high-risk moves here in training. They push everyone to the limit under controlled conditions. What I need to discuss is a near mid-air collision in the EC West area. Choco 1 flight, you briefed earlier you'd maintain your route unless deviating up north. You failed to communicate that route change. 8 people almost lost their lives. That can't happen again. Range restrictions are unchanged. East to east-west, the 70 series range is supersonic cleared. My fear of single-handedly screwing up was unfounded. We all messed up and we had to fix it if we wanted to finish these 2 weeks intact. Modern combat leaves pilots most vulnerable to threats from the ground, surface-to-air missiles from countless platforms. Nations are flooded with them. Red Flag's threat center is loaded with enemy weaponry for hands-on learning. Pilots call it the petting zoo. Some loved it, returning multiple times. I wasn't so sure. I didn't appreciate the intel experts enough at the time. Not until I'd felt missiles whooshing around did I wish I had listened more carefully. At 5 a.m., each day teams might look for a single pebble on the runway, blown there by the desert wind overnight, one tiny rock that could wreck a jet engine. If they're lucky enough to get airborne, flying low through canyons can be even riskier. Pilots can easily crash if they lose focus. It's what fighter pilots live for. Radar contact. Enemy forces 10 miles south. Choco 1 copies 4 south. Tally. You got Eagle 1 and 2 in that fight? Yes, sir. They might need help. Just behind a ridge, an F-15 flight searches for targets. Aggressor Tractor knows every nook of these canyons. He leads an elite F-16 team that's dreaded by visiting aircrews. Sniper flight, most kills wins. You tried, not good enough. Moving in for the kill. Once the battle starts, you have to watch your 6 while trying to get behind someone else's tail. In a blink, the hunter becomes the hunted. Missiles away, bandit flaring. It felt good to win a few dogfights and gain confidence. But we realized we all needed each other's success to nail the mission. Shooting down bandits helps, but if bombs miss the target, nobody's truly accomplished their part. Red flag ramps up. Missions become more intense, demanding mid-air refueling just to get home. It's nerve-wracking to connect with a tanker in flight. If a pilot can't refuel, he's out of luck. Could be captured if he ejects behind enemy lines. Nellis Tower. Iron 2 has a left engine malfunction. Emergency. Flying low-level punishes planes, engines ingesting dust or even birds. Squadrons have few spares, so ground crews face pressure to fix aircraft. One small error in engine assembly could lead to catastrophic failure. All right, we're going up to max. Keep an eye on it. I recalled stories Grandpa told, echoing when I first flew. The jammed guns, the gas tank waiting to explode, the parachutes they didn't always have time to fasten. He said they took more pride in their bullet holes than in their medals. Over time, he gained respect for the enemy's courage. 22 hours of repairs later, an F-15 engine is ready. At Red Flag, they want the stress on mechanics and ground crews as high as real war. Making perfect planes under fatigue is a unique skill. Midway through Red Flag, an unplanned mission arises. It's the unplanned missions that are deadliest, so we've added this to the Red Flag course. You'll go deeper into enemy territory. Lives are on the line. If you're not at your best, people will die. Suddenly, we hear that an aircraft is downed, pilot on the ground. They have only standard ejection seat gear. The commander can talk via satellite, but the pilot can't answer or risk detection. Both sides converge. The rescue choppers can't tell if he's truly friendly or wearing stolen gear with a bomb. They treat him as a threat until proven otherwise. The PJs, para-rescue men, risk their lives rescuing someone they don't even know. It's humbling. By Red Flag's end, dummy weapons are replaced with real bombs for the final operation. Overnight, hundreds are armed and any slip could cost lives. The final day, the largest, toughest mission. If you can handle Red Flag, you can handle real combat. Warthog flights inbound. Bombers are set. Let's do it for real. Transport planes drop humanitarian aid. The Viper squads, Eagle squads, all orchestrate an immense strike. When bombs hit the right targets, it can feel triumphant, but also sobering, seeing bombs explode. Good hits. Let's bring 'em home. I'd come wanting to prove myself. Then it was about nailing the mission. Now thinking back, it wasn't just my skill in dogfights. It was feeling part of something bigger than me. An entire community of specialists, all sacrificing, all caring for each other to succeed. I befriended pilots and crews from all over, Brits, Canadians, Germans, Aussies. It was incredible. I'll remember it forever. I've had many mentors, but my greatest hero remains my grandfather. He once said being a fighter pilot was the best job on earth, and going to war was the worst thing imaginable. He was right on both counts.